Do you know Professor? Don't know? Money Heist. Remember what he is doing? He will create a plan for the entire robbery. They are going to rob the bank, and he is an intelligent or smart person going to create a plan how they are going to execute robbery in each and every phase. Similar way, in testing, we have test plan. In test plan, we are going to prepare one nice document, one beautiful document. In that, we are going to define what are the activities we are going to perform while we are going to test any application, and this document we are going to create before starting actual testing. By definition, what test plan means: a test plan is a detailed document that describes the test strategy, objectives, schedule, estimation, deliveries, and resource required to perform testing for software product. Test plan help us to determine the effort needed to validate the quality of the application when application is under test. Basically, test plan is a blueprint of STLC, software testing life cycle. And if you don't know what is software testing life cycle, you can find in the description section, and you can watch that video before going to understand what is test plan.
Camera rolling action.
So let's start. First part of the test plan is a object. We should have aim of preparing test plan. Another section is scope. Let's say we are going to perform a testing on particular application, and in that application, let's say we have multiple functionalities. Like let's take an example of the Twitter. In Twitter, we can do a tweet, we can retweet, we can add photos, we can follow someone, we have privacy, we have story feature or fleet, we can say. So these all are functionality we have in Twitter. Let's say we are going to start a testing. So before that, we need to define the scope. Let's say these all are functionality. Out of this functionality, we are going to cover only first 4 functionality. So this will be our scope. We are defining what are the functionalities we are going to test and what are the testing methods we are going to use to test those functionality. Everything we are going to define in the scope section. Later on, we have approach section. Testing approach. Third one is a test approach, or we can say only approach. Here, based on the application or based on the criticality or based on the business, we are going to decide the approach or what are the testing activities we are going to carry out. Let's say we are working on a tweet, retweet, add photos or follow feature. In particular feature, we are going to perform which approach, we are going to follow which testing methodology, which testing we are going to conduct. Everything we are defining in the approach section. I'll give you clear example. Let's say we are working on a Flipkart or Amazon. They are going to sell product on the huge discount basis on the festivals. By that time, they are going to launch the sale on particular day. Let's say Flipkart or Amazon is going to launch new campaign, new sale on particular day at 12 o'clock. By that time, thousands or millions of users coming at that particular time at 12 p.m. By that time, what happen if we are not going to test performance of the application? If performance is not good, if application stability is not good, then in next 5 minutes application will break or application will go down. If we are going to test on Flipkart or Amazon for particulars on for a sale, then we can conduct a performance testing. Similar way, we can decide what are the approaches we are going with to test particular functionality. Next is a testing methodology. Fourth one, testing methodology. In this section, we are going to decide which testing method we are going to use to test particular functionality of the application. Next, we have Next we have entry and exit criteria. Entry and exit criteria. What does it mean, entry and exit criteria? Here we are going to define some rules. Based on that rule, we are going to start working on a tweet module and we are going to stop working on a tweet module. Let's say when developer is developing the tweet functionality, by that time, once tweet functionality is getting ready, by that time, we will have test data. Tweet functionality is ready, they will deploy the code into test environment. Later on, all the resource, for example, 4 testers are working on a tweet functionality, so all the resource should be available, all the access. For example, to test the tweet functionality, testers should have particular access. They should have VPN access, they should have test data or see any documentation access. All the documentation should be available for testers. So we can say this is the one of the entry criteria. Another point is when test cases are ready. If all these things are ready, then we can start testing on the tweet functionality. So we can say that this bunch of things are entry criteria to test tweet functionality. Now question is, when can we stop testing? Ideal answer is we cannot stop testing anytime, because whenever we are going to perform the testing, we will find some bug, blocker, critical, minor or trivial bug. But as a standard procedure, we have to define some exit criteria. First is based on the test case execution. For example, we have 100 test cases. Out of 100, we have executed all the test cases. So in that case, we can say that we have executed all the test cases and we can stop testing. Later on, another set is we are not able to find blocker or critical defect. We have executed all the test cases, even though we are not able to find any blocker or critical defect. In that case, we can say that this is our exit criteria. Another is whenever any feature or any functionality is going to change. Let's say we are going to test tweet functionality. In that, we have also few modules, sub modules. So for example, client is denying, we are not going to go live with particular modules or particular sub module. By the time, we can say that we are meeting exit criteria. Now next phase is when to stop testing. That is another point for the test plan. So there are different scenario. By that time, we can say we have to stop entire testing activity. So what are those scenarios? Let's say application is too good or application is too bad, we cannot perform further testing. By that time, we can say we have to stop testing at particular phase. Now what too good means? Too good means based on the requirement or all the business scenarios are working properly. So we can say application is good and stable enough. By that time, we can stop our testing. Another scenario is when application is not at all stable, we are not able to perform the basic functionality. Let's say we are working on a Flipkart, and in Flipkart we are not able to search the product, we are not able to add product to the cart, or we are not able to purchase any product. By that time, we can say that basic or critical functionality or business functionalities are not working and we have to stop testing. There can be a few reasons. Development team is working on the product, they are still developing the product, or Flipkart doesn't have budget to go with the further testing, or they don't have budget to release the product. So in that case, we have to stop testing. Customer is, whatever the feature customer is requested, those features are ready and up to the mark. In that case, we can stop our testing. And there are also few timelines or deadlines. Let's say a project is not meeting the budget. For example, for testing phase, they have decided 1 lakh rupees testing budget and it is going to exceed more than 1 lakh. After that, company has no budget, or particular client or customer don't go beyond this 1 lakh rupees. By that time, they will stop testing activity at particular phase. So these are some stop testing criteria. Now next phase is a defect tracking. If we are going to test on any application, by that time definitely we are going to catch some bug. So once we have find out the defect, how we are going to track those defects, what are the phases we are going to follow for defect tracking life cycle, which tool we are going to use. For example, let's say in market multiple tools are available. Let's say Jira, Bugzilla, Redmine, those tools are available. Out of those tools, which tools are aligned with the client? For example, Jira is most expensive tool and other tool are cheaper. So based on the client budget or project requirement, they will decide which tool they are going with. So this phase is called a defect tracking. Later on, with each bug, what are the severity and priority they are going to define. They are going to decide each and everything for the defect in defect tracking phase. Next phase is a test environment. So why the need test environment? For example, developer is developing any application and they are using particular setup. The similar setup testing team also need, because developers are doing changes and it will affect on the testing activity. So that's why their companies or teams are going with the test environment. Test environment means it's a setup, or it's a big CPU or big server when they can install the application and every testers can use that application. So in test environment plan, they are going to decide how what will be the capacity of the server, how many what will be the storage capacity, what is the bandwidth of the server, what are the OS they are going to use, DB server, backend server, everything they are going to decide in the test environment phase itself. Later on, our last phase is roles and responsibilities. So let's say in entire testing activities, multiple people or multiple team members are going to work. For example, intern, test manager, tester, automation tester, or few other tester. Let's say performance tester or security tester, and they are working together to achieve testing goals. So in roles and responsibility section, management or a test manager or team director, they will decide what each and every person will do at every stage. For example, let's take an example of the test engineer. We can define certain activities for the test engineer. Let's say he is going to write a test cases, he are going to raise defect, he will review the test cases, he will prepare the traceability metrics. All this activity test engineer will do. Later on, test manager or test lead person, what test lead will do? Test lead will create the effort estimation. For example, we are working on a tweet functionality. So tweet functionality, how many testers they need, how many hours of manpower required, or what are the setups, test data, everything test manager will decide. Later on, for example, tester is facing few issues related to test environment, or they are not getting builds on time, or they are not able to get the CRS documentation or release documentation properly. Escalation activity, or testing team has to approach other teams. Every activities will carried out from the test manager or test lead. They will take care of each and every activities. Later on, they will define a life cycle, or they will define what are the deliverables, what every person has to deliver at the end of the testing activities. So this is how in roles and responsibility section they will define the role of each and every person. Later on, let's say for a automation engineer, test automation engineer. So test automation engineer has to automate business scenarios. The automation engineer has to automate all the smoke test, and whenever new build receives, he has to execute smoke testing suite. It will be a roles and responsibility of the automation tester. Now, our last phase will be a deliverables. In deliverables, what they are going to decide, we have performed so many activities and we have performed entire testing life cycle. We have raised a defect, we have prepared a test plan, and end of the day we have to deliver something to the management or client or our stakeholder. So in deliverables, we are going to decide what will be the deliverables. For example, we are working for a client and client need a automation script. For example, automation tester is working on a script, so they have to share a script with the client, or they want test cases or they want test case execution report. Based on their need or based on the project budget, they are going to define the documents, they are going to prepare few documents, and end of the testing phase they are going to deliver those documents. These all are stages of the test plan. I hope everything is clear. If you are not clear with any portion or if you have doubts, you can ask me in the comment section. I will be happy to answer. I will see you in the next video. Till that, happy testing.